Hundreds of people were supposed to die that night, but Iris stopped the disaster. So death came back for them one by one. Since there were so many survivors, it took years for death to get to all of them. But eventually it got to Iris. She single-handedly held off death for decades.
Stephanie, sweetie.
These people went on to have families that they never should have had. So death took them too. Don't you see this? Death is coming for us because we were never supposed to exist.
After escaping a horrific tragedy, death is now coming for the relatives in the bloodline that were meant to die that fateful day many decades ago. Man, all right, Final Destination, Bloodlines.
Yeah.
Now, I was talking to you before we saw this movie, and I didn't know that you were a fan of this franchise.
Yes, I'm a fan. I'm an aficionado. I've seen them all in the theater multiple times.
Oh, man, you're better than me, because I don't think I saw it. As we got to the later installments, I didn't go to why. I kind of fell off a little bit after 2.
Shame on you.
But I do love those first 2 movies. But now it's been a little bit of a break, but now we've come back. This is not necessarily a reimagining or reboot, but just kind of like a new installment in the franchise.
It's a sequel. It's a proper sequel.
Yeah, it is a proper sequel. But I like, first of all, I love the setup of this movie where you're taking like the idea of, you know, somebody that was meant to die and then they have a family and then now that family wasn't meant to exist. So now death is coming for the bloodline of that family. I love the setup of it. Now, when you go into a Final Destination movie, the biggest thing that everybody is going there for are the deaths and the kills. Now, we've talked about this before, and again, it depends on what you're looking for. A lot of them are really cartoonish. They're a bit absurd.
They're graphic.
And extremely graphic.
Even if you compare them to other Final Destination movies, the deaths in this movie are intense.
They are extremely intense.
Goofy, but intense.
Very goofy, because the one, and I'm trying to remember if this was in the first movie or is this something that kind of escalated from film to film as far as like how deaths kind of start to have this chain reaction.
Yeah, it's a Rube Goldberg machine.
Yes,
you know?
and that's where some of the absurdity comes in.
That's the best part.
But you're right, that is where the fun of it is.
Like when we're having the story around the Rube Goldberg machines, I'm like, let's get back to the Rube Goldberg machine. How does this shard of ice going to end up making this guy get his head in a lawnmower? Like I said, it's that snowball effect of everything that just kind of, it's like you either in or you're out. Yes, you're either in or you're out. That is true. I'm in. It's a comedy. You should be laughing at this movie.
Yeah.
We're all demented. This movie's demented. Let's enjoy ourselves. To me, this is a film made by people who understood the joys of the Final Destination franchise.
Okay.
You go back to that first movie, and it's basically a Twilight Zone episode or an X-Files episode.
Yeah.
You know, premonition, death's coming for you. It's pretty serious. And the deaths are violent, but they're not gratuitous, let's say. This movie follows the route of Final Destination 2. Where it does like lean into comedy, lean into absurdity. It's a blast as a result. That being said, it's Tony Todd's last movie.
That's where I wanted to go next.
And his sequence in this film, I won't spoil what surrounds it, how Tony Todd comes back into play. But that scene is so heartfelt.
It's extremely heartfelt and very sad if you know the real world context of it.
I mean, he looks quite ill.
Yeah, he's very frail.
And he is talking about the power of life and living every moment as if it's your last. And here's a man saying it in his last moments.
Yeah.
So like the meta context of the Tony Todd scene is extremely powerful and I found very effective.
Extremely effective. No, if you know Tony Todd's story, and I mean the actor has passed away and this is his final film, and if you see him in the movie and know what he personally was battling, and you see the context of you're saying those final that scene and what he's saying, it's extremely sad. It's very heartfelt, and I think it's a beautiful send off for that character in the Final Destination movies. But just like you said, thinking about the real world context, it's just sad. It's just sad
and it does stand out. And this is an absurd movie. It is a comedy.
Yeah.
It is gory, and violent, and it's treating life like it's nothing. And then we have this thing in the middle that's saying like, yeah, but also like, when you leave this theater,
live life.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, live life. What's your rating for this?
I love this movie. I love this franchise. I think this is one of the best entries in this franchise. If you're a sicko like me, it's definitely a B+.
It's a B+ for me. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I admit to the absurdity of it, but I can't deny that I was laughing and I was rolling my eyes in a good way.
See it with a crowd.
Yeah, see this one with a crowd, most definitely.
If you liked what you just saw,
then check us out on YouTube at PGC TV Online. And we'll see you at the movies.